Hello there guys and girls, welcome back to another episode of RedMana Madness. We have got in today's episode a deck tech so to speak. I don't know, I'm not probably the most best person in the world to be looking for advice or bit deck building ideas, but I thought I'd like to share with you like an idea that I had mostly inspired through my recent draft, well not recent, the last draft I did with Commander Masters, and having some reasonable success with my Boros equipment deck, and it's kind of inspired me to actually create a proper commander deck using the Boros colors and creating, having lots and lots of equipment with it. So that being said, I thought what we'll do is we'll do the journey so far with what I've put together. It's still nowhere near complete. I still don't even have the commander to begin with. I can't even remember the commander's name, but it's basically the one from Dominaria United. In Boros, and what he does is that he reduces vehicles and equipment to 1, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, so with that in mind, like I do like vehicles. I think vehicles are pretty cool. I'm very tempted to take some cards out eventually at some point and maybe replace them with red or white vehicles as well, because my commander reduces the crew cost to 1. Damn, I can't remember his name. I'm hoping Dennis, my editor, remembers and can put the card up for us here. So if you look in the top right where he usually puts it, he might have a good idea of what I'm talking about. But yeah, Dominaria United, Boros.
Before I start this video, let me just tell you a little something. This channel's whole purpose is to broadcast and promote my eBay shop, RedMana Madness. Every card you see in this video, you will see in eBay. I do my research analysing the demand to know a good price point. I work out to find the right price so you can get the best price. And it doesn't end there. I also sell bundles and accessories essential to your MTG plays. So after you watch this video, of course, head over to my eBay shop at www.ebay.co.uk/str/RedManaMadness, or click in the link in the description below. Now, let's start the video.
I guess what we'll do is maybe go through the creatures first, or some of the creatures I wanted to add. Go through them, give you the idea of what I'm trying to build towards, so to speak, show you the equipment, show you a few little instants and sorceries and some auras as well. I want to do auras, so I guess it's going to have like a little bit of more of a variety of things to cast, so it's not just pure equipment. It's going to be, because I've got some creatures that benefit from auras, so play some auras and whatnot. My commander, especially vehicles, they're kind of cheap. I think I might play a few vehicles, so we'll see how it goes. So basically I've got some creatures here. I've got a big pile of equipment, and that's the equipment. I won't be using that much. It's what I'm just at the moment throwing together, but I think what I'll do is cut 50% of that out. I won't be having that many, maybe more, I don't know. So yeah, but we'll just go through what I've got built so far. So finding cards, picking up cards here and there, what I get hold of, things like the Wandering Knight. Also, like this card here. That's why it was a shadow. My hand was in front of the light because I'm stupid. Yeah, it has double strike as long as there's 2 or more equipments attached to it. I mean, you put 2 equipments on here, you could turn this 3/3 easily into a 6, 7 or 8 power maybe with 2 equipment. Double strike on top of that. That's pretty nuts. And then its ability to attach your equipment you control to a balance. So I could have 3 or 4 and then pay 2 mana, equip it, swing for double strike. That's a pretty good card as well out of the Commander Masters. I felt like he definitely has to go in there. This one was just more for just having like a very large creature on the field. Sorry, that's kind of blurry. Oh dear, that's kind of blurry. So yeah, this is just something. I may not add to this. This might be in the maybe pile, but I just thought playing red. It's a legendary creature. It can't be countered. Loads of bits and bobs with it as well. Yeah, it could be playable. I don't know. A late game 6/6 flying. Oh, not 6/6 flying. 6/6 uncounterable. With the protection, depending on what I'm playing against. The trample's really good. If I had loads of equipment, I think what it was, I saw the flying. I don't have flying, sorry. I saw the flying and saw the trample, and I thought flying and trample with a couple of equipment on there, it's just going to be massive. I don't know. It was more of just like I just thought end game, and I was thinking big creature, uncounterable, boom. But it's more in the maybe pile. Kimber as well. I think I might have a different version of this card in here as well. I'm literally just throwing cards together, so there might be duplicates that I've put together and not realized. So if I do, I'll take them out. But again, when this enters or another cat enters the battlefield under control, attach up to one target equipment you control to that creature. Equipped creatures get +1/+1. You know, I can create cats as well, so create tokens. It's a bit pricey for 5, but yeah, it seemed quite good for 2 mana as well. 2 synergizes with equipment, quite nice. I mean, if I'm playing equipment and potentially vehicles, well, I'm definitely got some auras in there as well. Playing SRAM seems like a no-brainer, really. He's going to go in there, draw cards. Thanks for playing all the things that I want to play, auras, equipment, maybe vehicles. Frodo is popping up in here. I might have to, because it keeps going blurry here. Come on, here we go. So yeah, again, equipment synergizes. When it enters the battlefield attacks, you may attach an equipment that can control cost 2 or less, 2 or 3, 2 Frodo, sorry. So it's your turn, prevent all damage that will be dealt to Frodo, so can't be done damage. It's just, as long as it's my turn, it's pretty cool. So synergize with equipment. This one, I picked this one up because of its lieutenant thing. So again, maybe just because it creates that fog effect, so to speak, preventing all combat damage shall be dealt to creatures I control this turn, and they gain vigilance. So I can get some creatures on the battlefield, get them all buffed up, swing wide, he's out, triggers with the lieutenant because my commander's out as well. You know, my creatures can't be dealt damage, but others can. So another one for the maybe pile. Doesn't synergize completely with equipment, but you know, it's got that lieutenant. It has a pretty powerful thingy. This one as well, I thought to myself, because there'd be equipment that gives things like with first strike or you know, and other things, especially where other creatures just naturally might have first strike. I was thinking of maybe having that as a slight focus if I can find other creatures that have first strike. This guy gives them double strike, so I thought that was quite good. More of like a, you know, a buff, so to speak. Again, a creature with double strike if I had him equipped, double striking with, you know, a 3/2 attached or 2 equipment attached to it. I just thought, yeah, seems quite good. Not too sure why I got this. I'm not really running counters. I think that was more of just a panic ad. Like I was just thinking, oh, you know, I could add 1/1 counters to things and give him that evasive. But I don't think he might be. I think I'll be cutting him for sure. So yeah, when it attacks, all other attacking creatures you control get 1/1 till the end of the turn. Other red creatures gain trample. Untap each other white attacking creature. So this was more just a creature synergizing. Again with the trample, if I equip him, lots of damage coming through with trample, plus the other effects he does with the red and the white's giving him vigilance. So I have blockers next turn. I quite like the look of this, and I thought maybe I'll add that. Loyal Appetite. Beginning combat on your turn if you control a commander. Creates little thingies. Creates a, what you call it, flying token 1/1 tokens. The idea behind this, I thought maybe creating the 1/1 flyers. Again, that flyers being evasive. If I can equip them, make them stronger, make them big, so turn a 1/1 into God knows what, and then swing with flying. Hopefully, able to go over blockers and deal some serious damage. So yeah, I think I got like all that glitters and aura. So if I had quite a few Flopses out, equip one of my 1/1s, it gets a +1/+1 for each artifact. And if I've got a few of those, plus the enchantments with the auras that I might have other play, and plus with all the other equipment, I could be making a 1/1 into something really, really big. So I quite like the idea of that. This one, I guess, for the auras, making, come on, zoom in. Auras cost 1 less whenever you cast a spell that targets this guy. Put 1/1 counter on him. That might be why he's probably the only creature that puts 1/1 counters on himself. But yeah, auras cheaper. If I can get hold of a few more auras, that might be really, really good. He makes them cheaper, I guess. So it's no brainer, I guess. Who we got here as well? The Master Smith gains double strike to the end of turn if they're equipped. So that's not too bad. Most of my creatures will be equipped, so a lot of my creatures will be gaining double strike. I think out of all of, like, say, like the abilities, so to speak, I think first strike or double strike is the one I might be trying to sway towards more. So equip everything, have him out, everything swings for double, which is kind of banging. So not too bad. We have the Fearless Voyager as well. Now this one, whenever you attack with a player with one or more equipped creatures, you draw a card. So attacking with equipped draws me cards. Another one I found, seems like a no-brainer. So yeah, you may unattach an equipment from a creature you control. If you do, tap the creature, gains indestructible. So anyone tries to destroy anything, I can just pay that and immediately remove it and give them indestructible. So that's not too bad. Especially with, like, say for example, if my equipment only costs 1 to equip, I'm happy to pay the 1 to remove it, give them indestructible next turn, or on my second main phase or whatever, equip it afterwards. This is one of the guys I had as my other commander in the draft. I liked having, creating the free ones. I know they're till the end of the turn, but a free one with trample, it was kind of handy having the tokens and just swinging right wide with them, because I was able to create 3 or 4 per turn because I, equipped him with quite a few things. So I felt like it was kind of handy. I want to give him a chance again for an actual real commander deck. And then we have this guy here. Nice cheap creature with trample again. Whenever it attacks, it gets +X +X at the end of turn, where X is the number of equipped creatures you control. So hopefully I have a fair few equipped creatures when this triggers. If that's the case, I get to draw cards. So I felt like drawing cards is, one way of gaining the upper hand. That's a double. Gaining the upper hand in Commander, you need to outdraw your opponents, from what I understand. What's this one? So this one is the Storm's Edge from Kamigawa Ryu. Whenever it attacks alone, untap it. If it's the first combat, there's an additional combat. This might be just more for circumstance. I was thinking maybe if I don't have many creatures out, or it's a mid-game and there's a board wipe, I play him. He could be the only creature I have for the moment. So I could, attack with him, potentially gain some extra, especially if I equip with him. Like if I only have him out on the field, or maybe another warrior that I have, and I equip 5 or 6 equipments to him, like I could just swing with something massive and gain another combat. So double strike, trample, God knows what else. And and then get an extra combat step. So maybe a little bit circumstantial, I don't know. But I like the idea of it. And I guess this is one of those things where I don't know until I try it and just see what happens. So that's the other one. Probably one of my favorite cards here. First Strike, Vigilance, Lifelink with Danitha. I'm not too sure, I can't pronounce it. But the Human Knight Paragon here. First Strike, Vigilance, Lifelink, Aura and equipment cost 1 less. So that's going to be really, really handy if gets to a point where my commander, the tax on it is too much, I don't want to play it, and I can play her instead. At least I get some sort of cheap discount on the equipment. So really, really like her. Oh, this is a duplicate from the other card. So another one, it has First Strike and Lifelink as long as it's equipped. Again, with the First Strike, I'm trying to make sure that I have creatures that gain some sort of benefit when I do equip them. So that's kind of the idea behind it. Like the idea that maybe with the lifelink gain, helps me keep me in the game. Foundry Inspector, considering I'm playing a fair few artifacts, which equipments are, they cost 1 less, so that's going to be quite handy. None of them as well, if I equip them, it gets +2/+2 for each aura and equipment attached to it. It has trample, so one I can just focus on, give them loads of bits and bobs. The Bandit Warlord. When it enters the battlefield, search my library for an equipment. Put it into the battlefield, then shuffle. When it attacks for the first time, untap it, and all samurais you control after this phase an additional combat phase. So another combat phase, gets a shooter, so that'd be quite good. Get some really nice things with that, so he seems quite good. Pure Steel Paladin. It's probably the first thing that should go in any equipment deck, if you're playing white especially. Whenever equipment under your control enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. So I get to draw equipment, have 0 as long as I control 3 or more artifacts, which I assume will be really, really easy. If I'm playing mana rocks, they're artifacts. If I'm playing other things, should get that pretty damn easy. So this is a really, really good card. Hopefully it survives. I get the feeling if I play a card like this, people know what kind of deck I'm playing, they'll just kill it on sight. The Light Pause. So whenever an aura enters the battlefield under control, if you cast it, you may search your library for another aura card, mana value of less than or equal to your aura with a different name. And then put the card into the battlefield, attach the Light Pause. So get to tutor for auras basically. I quite like the look of it. I want to give them a try. It's a 2 cost. I think for having, I think the good thing about this is that if you can play really cheap creatures, and then make them really big with the equipment, that's where I might gain the upper hand. So where I'm playing cheap creatures, equipping for cheap, or playing equipment for cheap, then or for free, say for example, then that I might gain a severe upper hand compared to my opponents. And this was just like a big creature, flying first strike again. That first strike thing I think I'm more focusing on out of all the other creatures. And obviously with the Gold Knight's ability, if a source deals damage, does double that to my opponents. And then if I receive damage to a permanent I control, or me, prevent half of that. So that's quite good. And this is what won me the game in my draft game. So I thought, considering she won me the game, she definitely deserves a spot in the actual commander deck. So yeah, it's not too bad. Couple of little flavor enchantments. I've only got a couple at the moment, but these ones, enter the battlefield, return an equipment card from my graveyard to the battlefield. So if I do lose anything, I can bring it back. And it says here, as long as it's your turn, you may activate equip abilities anytime you cast an instant, which is really, really good. And then you may pay 0 rather than pay the equip cost for the first equipment ability you activate during each of your turns. So it seems quite handy for that. Lots of equipment synergizing. This one for the tokens as well, creating artifact tokens. And then I get to tutor for an equipment. I don't really have any interest for the creature. Maybe I don't know, to be fair. I need to look at see what this creature is. I'm not big familiar with Kaldheim, but yeah, I thought with the tutor for the equipment, I thought that'd be really, really good. So not too bad. And in this one, you get +1/+1 at the end of turn for each artifact or enchantment you control. Potentially buffing a creature for 5 or 6, you never know, which is really, really big, especially if I've got something with trample or the first strike or double strike. Pretty big. Then I exile this, and what does this turn into again? 1/1. Then this gets a 1/1 for each artifact. So yeah, potentially could be a big creature. You never know. Moving to the sorceries. Just a couple of little bits, really. Just things like filling discovery, gain 2 life, discard 2 cards. If I do draw 3, again, say for example, if I discard equipment, if I can find ways of bringing equipment back from my graveyard, it's not an issue. So happy to discard that to get the 3 cards. Ren's Resolve. Exile top 2 till the end of my next turn. I get to play those. So basically drawing almost. Draw 2 cards and discard 2 cards. Flashback as well. Faithless Looting is quite good. Return to Dust. Exile enchantment or an artifact. If I do during your main phase, exile another. It's not too bad. Target creature gets +2/+2 in turn. Prevent all damage that be dealt by colorless sources. I am not too sure why I have that. Colorless sources. That's probably going in the maybe pile. I'm not too sure why I have that, to be fair. Target creature gains indestructible to the end of turn and scry. I guess it's a couple of little flavor or handy spells just to try and save the odd creature, because I guess ultimately I might be bunning 5 or 6 equipment on one creature. So if I've got one massive creature that's like 15/15 double strike, trample, flying, it's going to be subject to a lot of removal. So it's cards like this that will help save it. So I think that's the reason why I put that in there. Creatures you control gain first strike to the end of turn, draw a card. I thought that was quite good. Target gets +2/+2 to the end of turn. Equip creatures you control gain indestructible as well. So another indestructible, again saving from potential removal. Vandal Blast is in there as well. Maybe overload that and slow some people down, getting rid of their mana rocks and whatnot. This one I thought was quite cool. Counter target spell, if that spell is countered this way, put it on the top of its owner's library instead. Slow them down again. Creature gains haste, draw a card. Mana Tithe, counter target spell unless its controller pays 1. So hopefully opponent taps out, I can Mana Tithe it or something, so that'd be quite handy. Couple of regular mana rocks, Commander Sphere, Mind Stone, Fire Diamond, the Boros Locket as well, potentially sacrificing for drawing 2 cards, Arcane Signet, Farewell Stone, Sculpting Steel as well. You can have it as a copy of an artifact on the battlefield, so potentially a really good artifact that I have, an equipment, and just have a duplicate of it So here's some of the equipments, I guess. Eater of Virtue, I guess, you know, as I equip it onto creatures with certain things like flying and first strike, double strike, trample and stuff, when they die, if they do eventually die, this gains all their abilities. So I guess maybe over time that can become really powerful. I'm not too sure. It's something I'm going to have to test. For source deal damage to equipped creature, prevent excellent damage by excess number of creatures you control. Yeah, if anything, I'm really just like, I just grabbed anything equipment, all the equipment, and I'm just going to bun them in here and then just see what works. I mean, two cost. It does cost 4 to equip, but my commander will make that cheaper. I've got other creatures that make equipping cheaper, so I thought a 3/2 I thought would be quite good. And whenever a legendary enters the battlefield, which I will be playing a couple of, I get to equip that anyway. So Hero's Blade I thought was a definite. The Conqueror's Flail, equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each color among permanents you control. It's only going to get a +2/+2 because I'm only going to have 2 colors. But it says here, as long as the Conqueror's Flower is attached to a creature, your opponents can't cast spells during my turn. So that's quite handy. So that'll always be equipped as much as possible. Gets +1/+1. Equipped creature becomes blocked by one or more colorless creatures against Death Touch until the end of turn. Maybe a little bit more circumstantial, but you never know. Colorless creatures. Equipped creature gets +1 and +0 plus flying. Not bad, but it's 2 for a flyer. +2/+2, and there's a flying white angel into it in addition to its other types. That one might be +2 and +2 is flying. It's really good. Again, it makes it cheap, so it's not too bad. First strike, it gets +1/+1 if it's a human as well. Got a couple of humans, so I felt like this might work. First strike, trample and haste just gives it everything. Again, playing for really cheap, equipping for 1. If I get that reduced, it's going to cost like nothing maybe anyway. So I thought, yeah, the trample's really good. For the lands I control, yeah, I've actually won games thanks to this, believe it or not, with other decks, because it's always in a pre-con deck. But then when you equip that to something, I've had crazy games where it just gets out of control because it just gets bigger and bigger as the time goes on. As long as it's legendary, it has hexproof with the Champion's Helm, +2/+2. Very nice. +1/+1 for each creature I control. Hopefully I get to play a few creatures. I like the idea of maybe trying to do, say for example, which I think might work quite well was, where's his name? This dude. So, where say for example I he's equipped with this and maybe some other things, and he creates like say 4 red elementals, that's another 4 creatures. He just gets boosted another 4, like 4 +1/+1s. So that was kind of the idea behind that, where as I'm creating tokens a couple of times, this will benefit from it. So +1/+1 and haste, equipped for 1. Haste is always really good. Vigilance, trample and haste as well again with the haunted cloak. Yeah, loads of good things. These ones are a little bit more things where I've just saw them and just grabbed them. I didn't really think, but +1/+1 and vigilance, that's not too bad. The vigilance is really handy. Again, it's another really cheap equipment, so I guess where some creatures benefit from being equipped multiple times, this will help with that because it's so cheap. So I think that might be the reason why I put that on there. What's this? The Gate Smasher. Can be attached only to a creature with toughness of 4 or greater. A quick creature gets +3/+0 and has trample. Yep, Heirloom Blade. When it dies, reveal top card of your library until you reveal a creature card that shares a creature type. I think I got a fair few humans. Some other bits and bobs as well. Artificers a couple of times. Some knights as well, I'm seeing. So hopefully that might work. I'm not too sure. This might be a bit too circumstantial, but +3/+1 seems pretty big for an equipped one. Double strike again with the Fire Streaker. Butcher's Claw. If it's human, it gains lifelink +3, potentially for casting for 1, equipping for 1 or 0. I thought, yeah, that's quite good. Sigil of Valor. Whenever a creature attacks something, gets +1/+1 to end of turn for each creature you control. Not too bad. What's this one? So for Mirrodin, it creates a creature, which is kind of cool, I guess. As long as it's your turn, a quick creature gets first strike and trample. I guess that's one thing I like about a lot of these equipments is that the equipment does first strike, trample, flying. I feel like it's like the main 3. Flying, there you go. So not too bad. Creates another creature. Menace as well. First time seeing that. Helps create that evasiveness. +2 flying and haste, not too bad. Creates another creature. Quite expensive. I guess the most I can reduce that to is 2 red, but that's not too bad. Equip creature gets +1/+1 as long as it's legendary. I have a few legendaries. It will be equipped to a legendary most likely. And if it's red, it has trample. Gets +2/+2 if it's, you know, an additional anyway. That's quite good. Haunted plate mail. This is something I may have just dumped in there. I'm not too sure what's in there whilst I'm looking at that. But I guess if I got nothing to equip to, I can turn it into a creature for the turn. Yeah, maybe. I'm not too sure. That might have to go in the maybe pile. The Moonsilver Spear. First strike. When it attacks, put an angel token into the battlefield. So that's quite good. Seems quite expensive, but where I have the ability to make it really, really cheap, I feel like this is quite good. I'm actually quite looking at that one because again, creates loads of creatures. I have effects where effects get bigger, but more 1/1s based on how many creatures I have, so it's not too bad. Can't be blocked by creatures of 4 power, so if my opponents have something really, really massive, hopefully, you know, I can bypass them a little bit with that. Equipped abilities cost 1 less to activate, so I guess this is quite good because I guess this is an equip ability, so that now costs you know, 1 instead of 2, so that's not too bad. And equipped creature has double strike, so equip that onto something, give it double strike, boom. This card hopefully will help me ramp up a little bit, you know, for a 1/1. Top card of your library, if it's a land card, put it into the battlefield tapped. That'll be really handy, so I can just filter the top card of my library, hopefully a little bit faster than my opponents, and then, you know, get through the lands, get them in the battlefield, and then hopefully all I'm drawing is cool cards. Brass Knuckles again has double strike if there's 2 or more equipment to it, so that's not too bad. And I get to copy that as well. +3/+3, just a regular +3, but again with all the cheapness, quite boom. Vigilance and trample. Whenever a crit creature dies, equip this to a creature you control, so that's not too bad. Free equip. When it enters the battlefield, you may pay 2. If you do, create a dwarf and attach the dwarven hammer to it. +3 and trample. The mace as well has cascade. That'd be quite handy. So that's not too bad. +4 and trample again. Again, for 6, I might be able to pay it, you know, a bit cheaper. Lion Sash as well, I thought was not too bad. Exile things from graveyard, put a 1/1 counter on things, or on this anyway. Hopefully get to, you know, take out some threats in graveyards if that's what I'm up against. +1/+1 for each counter on Lion Sash as well, so it's not too bad. More reconfigure. Boros plate, +2/+2 and trample. High equip, but with everything making anything cheap, it's quite good. Now I know a lot of people will be saying, "Oh, where are the swords? Like the sword of Feast and Famine and stuff like that, or the other ones." I have one sword, and that is from the new Phyrexia. I have it in the oil slick art. That's in my rogue deck. I was thinking about pulling that out and putting that in here, considering it's equipment. I need the equipment. So yeah, it might be one of the things. But the swords are very expensive, and unfortunately, I'm not lucky, and I've never been lucky enough to pull the card. So yeah, I might have to end up maybe buying the singles, or maybe try and trade away and see what goes on. But I know I have one of the swords. I can't remember, is it Forge and Frontier? The one from New Phyrexia. Hopefully Dennis will be kind enough to put the picture up on that, so you know what I'm talking about. But that's a pretty good one because you exile the top 2 cards of your library. You could play an additional land that turn, and then you can play those cards that turn as well. So it's not too bad. So yeah, Spectral Steel. Exile from your graveyard, return another aura equipment from your graveyard to your hand. So graveyard recursion with the equipment. Gift immortality. When enchanted creature dies, return it to the battlefield under your owner's control and attach immortality to that creature at the beginning of the next end step. Again, if I suspect some of my really big creatures, thanks to all the equipment, will be subject to removal, maybe I might be able to bring it back with that. All that glitters, you know, with all the equipments, make something massive. This one as well, whenever enchanted creature deals damage, you gain that much life, you know, for 1. I thought that was quite good. Bit of life link, maybe stay in the game. And Darksteel mutation, I thought was really, really cool. You know, potentially removing something massive. Someone plays one of the Eldrazi Titans. No, you can have a indestructible insect instead. So there. So that's So yeah, that's basically it with the deck. Quite excited about it. I'm starting to warm up to the colors. I like Boros a little bit. Like if you remember back to my other deck tech, I did the Boros Battles deck with the dinosaur as the showcase, so to speak, and having lots of enchantments and as removal, like to exile and stuff. Um, so yeah, I'm kind of liking Boros as a color combination a little bit, and I really like the idea of doing this deck with the equipment. It still needs a lot of work. I haven't even figured out the lands yet. I definitely need to get some decent lands. I just got like what a mountain plains comes in tapped. Myriad landscape. Get to sacrifice that for 2. Just a really nice looking mountain I found. Same again, a foil. I like the mount. I like the volcanic there. Crucible Defiance. I don't know. Creates 2 tokens, but yeah, it's red. Definitely need to figure out the land base a little bit better. I think that's enough. Quite a few mana rocks. This is not too bad. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana rocks. That's not too bad. Maybe, I don't know. Is that not too bad? I get the feeling I'm going to say it's not too bad, and someone's going to laugh and be like, "Puh, you should put 10 in there." Like, what are you talking about? But so that's essentially it. Like, I wish I had the commander to show you, but yeah. So the idea is to literally just play creatures, get equipment out as much as I can, play the creatures that make casting equipment or equipping equipment as cheap as possible, and either do one or two things. If I've got, like, say 5 creatures out, equip all 5 of them as much as I can, swing with, really powerful creatures, or just like equip it all onto one creature, like make some bomb like 36, 32 or whatever, indestructible, not indestructible, first strike, double strike, lifelink, flying, trample, like the works, onto like one creature and just make some mega monster, like, and he just goes in like, like that from Arnold Schwarzenegger from Commando, where he's like suiting up and he's like equipped with like 6 machine guns and like 7 shotguns and 5 pistols and grenades and a bazooka, and he goes in like in Commando or something and just like wrecks this entire base. Basically like that. Just have like one creature equipped like Commando. So, so yeah, I guess that's it. Just swing in the traditional sense. Just swing with something massive. So yeah, I like the idea of it. I'm quite excited for it. It's still got a long way to go, and I'm so busy working and stuff. It's just every now and then I'll find one card just to add to it. So it's like if once a week I'm adding a card to it, and slowly building it. So it could be a long way away before I review it, and maybe like 6 months time I come back. Remember that video I did? Well, here's how it played terribly. No, hopefully I do all right. But so yeah, well, so that's basically it. Yeah, I hope you like what you see. I hope has anyone else? Have you guys ever made a Boros equipment deck? Like, if you have, how much success did you find with it? Do you think it's quite a good option to play in Commander, or compared to the other decks that everyone else plays, is it just pointless? Is it useless? So I like your input, as always. Give me ideas of what to add. If you've got some ideas of some good cards that synergize really well for things like this, leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you think. And that'd be really, really great. So, moving forward, I guess the next episode we will be having is going back to our usual bits. We have got more booster packs to open for Wild Vidrania in our series. But my editor as well, Dennis, he has also got running up a script for a video of his own. So watch this space, Dennis, my guy. Okay, he's got like an idea for his own deck tech video for a commander deck that he made. I won't spoil too much, but he was texting me about it from a recent game that he played, and it definitely seems really interesting for red. Seems really interesting, but it's your typical red deck. But yeah, he's done a really, really good job building it, and it's done some things that he wanted it to do. So really, really excited for him. So yeah, so watch this space. Dennis, my editor, he's going to have his own video that he's going to release on here real soon. So that's going to be really exciting. We'll plan ahead and see how that goes. But we'll probably, next episode after this will be a regular booster pack, opening. And before we do anything else, I would like to do a shout out to a regular fan, all the way over to the States in California, I think, where she resides from, Kelly, or Keleven on my Instagram, who follows me, and she also subscribes on here as well. Just want to say shout out and say hello, Kelly. Hello there. I just want to say, bottom of my heart, thank you so much for your support. You're always commenting on things on Instagram as well. You're always liking and you know, striking up a conversation with us and enjoying our content. And I just want to say I'm really grateful, and I'm extremely grateful. Sorry, for your your time and attention. I guess it's it really does mean a lot to me, and to know that someone literally on the other side of the planet enjoys the content and is quite enthusiastic about it as well. It's quite exciting, and it's really nice. So Kelly, hello again. I promised you I'd give you a little shout out in this video, so I thought I'd make sure I do that before I forget, because I'm an idiot and I'm always forgetting things. So let's close things off. Little surprise for you. Let's open up one of these, shall we? Booster pack opening channel, and I've just taken nearly 40 minutes of your time and not opened a single thing. So let's crack something open real quick. Don't ask where I got it. It fell off of the back of a lorry. So, oh dang. So yeah. So let's see what we got. Hopefully something super cool. You never know. So, good thing with the collector boosters, they're always shiny, and I like shiny cards. Don't know about you. I love shiny cards. So what we got? What's this? Restless. Sorry, Vine Stalk. That looks really nice in the full art. And then we have Leyline of Sanctity. Oh man, this is where I get to reading again, and I absolutely make a fool of myself. You have Hexproof, cool. And the next one is the Cruel Surfage. We have the Court of Ardenvale and a Restless Bouviac. I'm not gonna lie, I feel that was a bit disappointing. I don't know what I got. Maybe the Court. It might be worth a couple of quid. I'm pretty sure the rest is chaff. But I do like the art. They're really nice. Dark Tutelage. Lovely foil planes. The Apprentice Sorcerer, Woodland Acolyte, Ego Drain, or Fairy Thoughtseize as I like to call it, the Outrider, Into the Fey Court, Merry Bards, and Bestial Bloodline. Well, that was disappointing. Nothing super amazing, but that's me, that's my luck. But yeah, hopefully that was kind of cool. I mean, I'm sure there's someone out there that wants some of this stuff. Get 2 of the lands, man. It's just all the things I could get. Does look nice though. Right, guys, I'm going to conclude that, and yeah. So what do we need to do? We need to leave a comment. We need to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. So yeah, do me a favor, subscribe. Your support, I need it. I'm always grateful for your support. So yeah, guys, gonna love you and leave you. Boom. Have a good one.